We've now considered a couple of proposals to reduce barriers to voting. The last proposal is a little different because one way to increase voter turnout is to make it obligatory.
Universal voting is a system where citizens are required to vote in elections. This means that all eligible citizens must participate in the election process, either by casting a ballot or giving a good reason for not doing so.
Of course, no one is told who they have to vote for, and none of the above is always an option for those who feel they can't vote for anyone on the ballot.
Australia is probably the best-known example of universal voting in the world. Universal voting has been the rule there since 1924, and the government fines citizens who do not vote without a valid reason. Unsurprisingly, the country has consistently had high voter turnout, with more than 90% of eligible citizens participating in recent elections.
Now, some say this high turnout is due to other factors, such as the nation's strong civic culture, and that universal voting is not the sole factor behind the numbers. But it certainly seems to have helped.
The most common argument for universal voting is to increase voter turnout among everyone, not just the most politically engaged.
Proponents argue that universal voting can improve the democratic process by ensuring all citizens have a voice in the election. It may help elections deliver a government that is representing all its citizens and not just those who choose to participate in elections. This could also lead to a culture shift inside campaigns that would now have to appeal to a broad electorate and not just their base of supporters.
But universal voting remains controversial. Some want the freedom to not participate. Some view not voting as an act of protest.
Others worry that mandatory voting could disproportionately affect marginalized communities, such as low-income individuals and people of color, who may already lack transportation to get to polls or have difficulty obtaining government-issued IDs. If these individuals face fines or penalties for not voting, that could further disenfranchise them.
But for context, in Australia, the fine for not voting is $20 Australian. That's not nothing, but it's less than most parking tickets.
And finally, some worry that universal voting could bring many more uninformed voters to the polls, with people forced to cast ballots in races where they don't know anything about the issues or candidates. It may be true that the most committed voters tend to be more politically interested and extreme, but perhaps it's not bad that the people who seem to care the most and have the strongest opinions tend to be the ones who vote more consistently under our current system.